Well, when I come home, they never told me to get out of my uniform, but I've talked to a lot of Vietnam veterans. They said, as soon as you hit stateside, take your uniform off, get in civilian clothes. But I flew into National Airport over in D.C., and there was this lady and her child, and the girl, I don't know, 8 or 10, and I start speaking to the child, and that woman grabbed that child like I was the devil. I mean, and at the time I didn't realize why, because I'd been overseas. I had no idea it was that bad until I got home. And then for years I'd never even, I don't even know how many people even knew I was in Vietnam. Yeah. We never talked about it. When I worked at the post office, I retired from the post office, and one of the guys that worked with me, he was the actual charter member that started the Vietnam Veterans Chapter 648 here in Easton. And our first meeting was at my kitchen table. I got involved, but actually really, really get involved was when you're hearing these other veterans saying, man, we didn't get the recognition.
We talked about Kenley coming home and not realizing until later on that things, weren't the way the reality of our politics of that day. And I think the wall, once up and witnessed by those who were there, that was the point to where they broke down. That was the point where they finally realized, hey, this is real, this happened, I'm part of it, here's my friend on the wall. Yeah. It's got to be an incredible thing.
I guess time goes so quick, I guess it was 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, Timonium, they had the Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans. But anyway, they had the wall. It was the replica of the actual wall. And I visited, I walked up, I touched it. And I got talking to them, and I said, man, what's the chances of me bringing this to my town? And they said, well, you can fill out an application. It's about almost 2 years later, they got a hold of me, and we have got it booked. It'll be here May 31st through June the 6th. We're going to have it open 24 hours a day. If we have a veteran who says, I can't do it, I can't do it. Mm-hmm. But you want to go midnight, it's you. Nobody's going to be bothering you. You go to that wall, you touch your friend's name, you stencil it, whatever. So it's giving everybody the opportunity to get that feeling.
This is going to be a solemn, reflective, and respectful event for folks who want to walk up to the wall and remember. It's going to be a quiet event. It's going to have a 60-foot buffer around it where people are not allowed to take photographs except personal photographs. And it's going to be no bands, no music playing, or any pomp and circumstance. We understand that the wall is going to be a sensitive issue to a lot of people. We've taken a lot of plans and a lot of pains to ensure that we have grief counselors on site. We're also going to have EMS and police presence, which will be necessary. The crowd that we expect to draw could be in the thousands.
And one of the things we're going to do, we're going to read every name on the wall. And Royce did a little quick math. It's going to take almost 4 days of constant reading.
I'm on board because this is worthwhile. This is historic. This is something that is due to those who cannot get, say, to D.C. or who want to be a part of this event. It's their due. We're presenting this for them. Historically, these walls have budgeted $40,000, $50,000, even $60,000, and those budgets have been real. I personally kind of scoffed when I first heard that. But then realizing we put our committees to work and we came up with a $30,000 budget to begin with. That was in fantasy land. That's what we proposed would happen. In reality, we're at $39,000 right now. So that is real cost. That is cost that we've researched and know that we'll be expending. And that's why fundraising is so important, because if we don't pay the bills, of course, the event doesn't happen.